Mr. Shawn Lee, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you doing?
I am doing great as well. All right. So, Mr. Shawn Lee, kick us off. What are we doing today?
All right. So my name is Shawn Lee. I am the CEO and president of the Multicultural Association of Professional Photographers. It is an affiliate of the Professional Photographers of America, or PPA for short. And the PPA is the largest trade organization in the world for photographers with 33,000 members in 54 countries. And me, this guy from Detroit, is the head of diversity for that. We established MAPP for one reason, and that is to encourage and to surround people with a community of people to help them further their career, right, in the creative arts and in photography. To tell a little bit about myself, I am a photographer. I'm a full time photographer from Detroit, Michigan. I've been doing it for about 15 years, almost 16 years. I always tell people that I think my greatest skill set is the skill set of people, although I think I'm a pretty good photographer, right? I absolutely love people, which is also why we do this work, right, that we do. So we are here to talk about diversity, and we want to talk about diversity in the creative arts and in the creative industry, and moving towards professionalism in the creative industry, right, and opening up doors for people of color. And that's just not, this is not a black thing or a white thing. This is an all uh, nationality thing, right? And I tell people that you were the reason that I kept going, because I saw somebody performing at a high level who looked like me and who came from where I came from. And so it is important when we talk about people who want to do this as a career, right? Creative arts, photography, things like that. They want to do a career. It's important for them to see people who look like them. And so that's part of what we want to talk about today. And we want to also talk about the platform that has been established to kind of open up doors for those creatives of color that are phenomenal at what they do, but don't have a platform.
And diversity, for those of you who are watching, is, and you said it earlier, it's not just a black and white thing. It's
Right.
black, white, different races, different ages, male, female, gender neutral, whatever it is. That's all diversity. So we're not just two black guys talking about more black people in photography. It's diversity in general, and that's one thing I've appreciated that you've done with your conferences. If you look at the roster of influencers and people, it's
Yeah.
a mixture, a variety of all different ages, races, ethnicities, backgrounds, the whole nine yards.
We work really hard to put a great mix together. The reason being is that when you do that, you tend to erase the prejudices that are there, right? One of the things that we want to do, and is a passion for me, is that we want to challenge and we want to engage the things that are difficult for us and the things that we're not used to, right? And the more you do that, the more you learn about people, and you can start to erase the things that tear you apart or separate you, right? And once you start to erase those, you'll find that we as a people have more in common than we think. And if we all help each other, um, it is the greatest thing that we could do. It not only helps us in the creative world and the creative industry. It's just that's who we happen to be, right? But when you have communities that start to come together and tear down barriers, you can actually start to fix real problems and bring real solution to issues, right? And cohabitate. And that's really what this is about. So listen, I want to take this opportunity, and I want to talk about some of the people that have stood in the gap, right? And for a lot of folk, this may not be super ultra important, but for people like me, people of different nationalities, for me, it's you, right? Audrey Woolard, who has been in the professional photography industry for 17 years, right? Performing at a high level. We're talking about six figure earners, right? Have put up with a lot of stuff. We're talking about people like Terrell Lloyd, who is the head photographer of the San Francisco 49ers, right? African American man. We're talking about Matthew Jordan Smith, right? We talk about people like Hanson Fong, who are part of this, who've been 35 years in the game, who's an Asian. Man, you guys have kind of led the way and opened up the door. And I wouldn't be here I wouldn't consider being a professional photographer if you all hadn't stood there and done what you've done in the face of whatever ism that you faced, right? And so, first of all, I want to thank you all for that, right? And thank you for standing in the gap long enough for us to be able to come through and help do some lifting, if that makes sense, right? And so, with that being said, coming along with the Rock That Photography Conference, that if you want to do this and you want to really have a career and a go at it, we're here to create a platform for you to do that. And so, the Rock That Photography Conference and Trade Show is a conference that has some of the best diverse talent on the planet, right? In one place in Detroit, 3 days of high level training at probably some of the lowest price point in the industry, right? And so we got all colors of folk, all mixes of folk, all cultures of folk, black, white, yellow, green, brown, orange, whatever you are, right?
Well,
We got you. And
let's
so
try not to have orange. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, keep going.
I'm, I'm gonna let that go because
We're just
yeah,
gonna
I
let
got
that
you. I
go.
rock that.
Anyway.
So we we got Hanson Fong, 40-year veteran, right? Master photographer. I think he's number 6 or 7 all time with merits earned at PPA, right? The seventh or sixth or seventh over 1,000 merits, right? Audrey Willard, we got yourself, Jen Lewis, who is a phenomenal IPS in-person sales teacher, Jeff Rojas, who is a fashion photographer out of New York, Puerto Rican, right? We're gonna have an all women's panel, right? And so that's going to take place at the Rock That Photography Conference and Trade Show. Robin Robinson, who is here in Detroit, is going to lead that. And we got Piper Carter and Jen Lewis and Tracy Page, but we got Kesha Lambert, Audrey, we got Karen Bethencourt, who will be a part of this panel. Victoria Pavlov will be a part of this panel. And this will be amazing. I don't know if anything like this has been done, but I know women have gone through great strides, right? We are going to do live business training, live demos on stage from people like Hanson Fong, who is going to do stuff like posing. We are going to have motor coaches go downtown Detroit, and speakers are going to be leading photo walks downtown Detroit, right, which is really cool. We're going to have photo bays set up where we're going to have people like George Mitchell and folk like my boy Carl Jones, right? Who are from Detroit, going to be doing product photography and vehicle photography and some amazing talent. Asian American, Jenny Risher, we got Mike South, and the list goes on and on and on, right? Of some great diverse talent. And it really is about investment in people and making sure you have what you need and a community around you to be successful. And yes, Terry White is there speaking about post-production and Adobe products. The other component about Rock That that makes us, I think, very unique in our industry is that I wouldn't be here unless somebody invested in me.
How do you stay motivated to wake up and do this every single day?
Such a great question. Thank you for asking, Terry. And the single answer to that question is that my life is mission driven.
So, with that said, you've been here live with myself, Terry White, and of course, the one and only Shawn Lee from the Multicultural Association of Professional Photographers
Yeah.
from Rock That Photography Conference. Photographer, friend, and someone I admire and look up to, especially his photography skills are off the charts, especially with portraits. But this guy is amazing. That's the only reason I would bring him into the house for you guys to watch. Go to both actually. Go to rockthatconference.com for the 3-day conference in July. Go to rockthattour.com for the May tour, which is going through the South. Thanks everybody for being here, and we will catch you on the next one. We'll have to do this again, Shawn. All right.
I love you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, Terry White.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.